Hello everybody, it's Ray here. Welcome back to another cast of the Rise of Witch King patch 2.2 version 6. Today we have a 1v1 on Iron Hills. So yeah, a 1v1 on a map that is not Forts of Horizon 2. Always nice. I mean, Iron Hills is a pretty cool map, I think. So we have our first player, DrParke, is Goblins in the bottom left, and his opponent for this matchup is Turgon as Men of the West. Alright, Turgon is going for a barrack start, looks like. Barracks and a farm for his opener. Turgon going for, looks like two tunnels rather. Into probably a goblin cave or something else. It's spider pits. Aha, so he's going to start with spiderlings, I would imagine. We'll see how that works out for him. And we of course have Rohan Spearman out for Turgon, so he's going to try and creep, I'd imagine. Maybe some spiderlings or some spiderlings. Probably not a fire drake. Yeah, I'd imagine he's going to try and creep some of these, unless that's his starting unit against the enemy. We'll see. It looks like he is indeed moving into the spider lair. Will that be enough? I don't believe Rohan Spearman can actually kill spiderlings very well. The spiderlings do a lot of damage, and they keep coming out as well. Maybe they're doing okay, but they're actually getting eaten pretty badly, aren't they? So it is possible the Rohan Spearman will fail if they keep losing too many, that is. It looks like they'll be right though. And the first soldier of Gondor battalion from Turgon will be moving out as well. Actually, no. The Lings actually killed the Rohan Spearman. So that just goes to show Rohan Spearman cannot 1v1 the spiderling expansion, or not expansion, spider lair. That's the word I'm looking for. And here we go. First battalion of spiderlings are going in from DrParke. He's going to stop and engage here. Spiderlings, of course, are good against swordsmen. As you see, they dropped 3 of them right there in that first engagement. So that's the thing. Spiderlings are considered to be a bit OP currently. And of course that will be addressed a little bit next patch. So we'll see how that goes. But for now they're pretty strong units. They're very quick. They do good damage to structures, as you see here. And then they can level up easily and get away as well. And they can hide in trees, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But the fact that they're so hard to catch, and the fact they do so much damage to farms, these ones are war-chained, obviously, but still, that's incredible kill speed for a harassment unit, isn't it? Not to mention it can deal with swordsman openings pretty nicely as well. Spiderling opening starts are actually pretty good. So if you're goblins currently in 6.0 patch of 2.02, I would definitely recommend trying out the spiderlings, as they seem pretty effective. Men of the West probably will struggle, actually, against this. As it's, I mean, what do? Archers are good against them, but they can't catch them. And he didn't open with archers, so it's kind of a problem for Turgon. And DrParke is just having a field day right now. With his spiderlings, and of course they're not very good against pikes, as you see there. So pikes can counter them, but of course they're, like I said, too slow to actually catch them, is the problem. And it looks like DrParke is also going for goblin archers there, as well as some goblin warriors there. This map also favors heavily the evil teams if they go for Untamed Allegiance. There are 2 fire drake layers in this map, which is very, very nasty as well. So that's something Turgon's going to have to watch out for if DrParke decides to go Untamed Allegiance, which he very well may. DrParke has gone for a War Chant. Turgon's going for Rally Call, so they've both gone for their buff power. It looks like DrParke is ahead in a... It's weird calling him DrParke. Could be DrParke, but probably not. Let's go with DrParke. Yeah, he's ahead in the command point front, in the power point front. all fronts, pretty much. So that's good for him. And you see Turgon is just struggling to stop the harassment of the spiderlings. And they just, look at, they're all leveled up. These ones are level 4, level 2, and you can also upgrade them with Venom Sacs, and very cheap as well. Making them incredibly good against units. Not incredibly good, but a little bit better against units, I guess. The poison damage doesn't affect structures, so it's not going to buff them against the farms or anything. So at least there's that, but still. Turgon's reduced to just chasing them around. And of course, even if you bought Cav to deal with it, unless you got Rohirrim, they probably wouldn't do too well. Gondor Knights can kill spiderlings 1-on-1, but not that well. And Rohirrim could do it, but of course that's kind of a costly thing to get, isn't it? Especially when you don't have any farms. And this is just prime example of how goblins can deal with Men of the West in a map like this. This is also a big map as well. That's another factor to consider, is that the map is quite large. It takes Gondor soldiers a long time to get across the map to harass the enemy. The spiderlings get across the map incredibly fast. In and out, doing damage. And yes, they do indeed hide in trees, as you see they're flashing in and out of invisibility there. So he can also hide along these trees and just pop out and attack farms at will. That's pretty nasty, actually. And this game may be a little bit one-sided now that I see it. I didn't think it was going to be possibly this one-sided. But it does demonstrate pretty well the effectiveness of spiderlings, I'd say. Or the OP-ness of spiderlings, maybe. DrParke's building a force of goblins, and he's ready to send them in, it looks like. Turgon doesn't have a ton, but he does have a few battalions of troops. He is starting to get archers, though, which should help him out a great deal. Although there is an overwhelming amount of archers from the goblins here, so that probably won't go well for him either. We'll see. But DrParke doing a good job getting the spiderlings out of there, letting him heal up, and bringing him back in. Not losing too many. He's also able to expand quite far. I mean, he hasn't gone too far from his base, but he can. He most certainly can. He could also expand to the other side of the map, if he so desired. And Turgon's got a force here. Looks like DrParke let him build up a bit. And he's choosing not to engage. He's going to pull back, let Turgon push out a little bit. And probably swoop in and start attacking his farms again, I could imagine. But we'll see who wins the engagement here. Does he have War Chant ready to go? He does not, but he does have Cave Bats. So he's going for the Cave Bats. He's not opting to use the poison arrows, looks like. I don't know if it's better or worse to use the poison arrows, like, once they're already firing. It's possible it just slows them down too much, because they have to set up the animation for it. But if you start with it, I think it's pretty good. Of course, that poison damage does damage. Actually, it's not terrible damage. It's not terribly great either, but still. Pretty good nonetheless. And this looks like DrParke will win this engagement pretty easily, I think. With just some goblin archers and goblin warriors. The Men of the West army is cleaned up easily. So that's never a good sign. Turgon's definitely struggling here. You can feel it. And of course, goblins are getting pretty good map control now. He's inching ever closer to potentially Untamed Allegiance. I can't remember what side Untamed Allegiance is on, as always. I never remember. I believe it's on the right side. It's on the right side of the goblin tree, isn't it? Because Scavenger and Wildman on the left side and middle. Okay. So he has to go down the right side, which is... He's got all 3 level 5, so he actually can do that. Turgon is getting close to a level 10. Looks like he's saving up for that. He's opting not to get rebuild. At least not yet. Oops. Didn't mean to click on that. Although rebuild on his barracks might be a good call, so he doesn't lose it. I think he can save it, though. Oh, he's actually opted to go for heal instead. I guess that works, too. Keeping his troops that are alive is probably a good idea. And of course the barracks can always be rebuilt. Now the spiderlings come back in for the harassments. It's just really hard to keep a farm alive for Turgon here. Keep the ones close to his fort alive, kind of. But I say that as that's one of them dies. Maybe not. Maybe not. But Turgon is rebuilding his farms quickly. And we have a forward fissure as well as a tunnel here. And he is going to upgrade that. So potentially go for cave trolls or mountain giants or something worse. So we'll see. But yeah, so far things very, very much in the favor of DrParke. I may not have chose to cast this game had I known it was so one-sided. But, oh well. You know, it was a 1v1 on a map that I don't see too often, so I figured why not. But at the same time, it does feel like it's really just the Goblins toying with the Men of the West here, doesn't it? Let's fast forward a bit. There we go. Something I don't generally do in a replay, but I think when there's nothing going on, might as well. And there goes the attack. Rally call, war chant going down on both the factions there. And they will battle it out for supremacy. I wonder if it's a mistake that he's building so many of these pikemen. I mean, obviously he's got to build pikemen or else spider riders are going to come out of nowhere and kill him, but oh, we have our first mountain giants. That's what he's going for there. But of course the pikemen aren't really helping against the goblin archers, or the goblin warriors rather. Not too much at least. At least you still kill them though. The goblin warriors are fairly weak. The goblin archers going up against the Gondor Rangers. The Gondor Rangers, archers rather, being pulled back, and the Gondor Knights are going to clean them up nicely. Although we have a attack here from DrParke with the mountain giants, he does manage to finish off of that barracks there. And this is looking kind of bleak for Turgon, I gotta admit. The spiderling start has completely shut him down, thrown him off his game, and given complete map control to DrParke. Complete and utter map control, and that's never a good thing. Also, if you have tunnels, of course, as goblins, you can go from across the map in an instant. So that's another problem that Turgon will have. And there goes the Wildman summon from DrParke. Except they're being buffed as well. And the giant is taking down the fort. The giant could do with a stomp right now, I'd say. Stomp would be... I mean, it would take out everything around him, and then he could continue to throw rocks. That's what I like to do if he gets surrounded. Looks like he's just going to keep going for the attack. He'll probably bring another giant. Oh, he's going for fire drags. That would deal with the Gondor Knights very nicely. I feel like goblins are countering the Men of the West very, very well in this game. Ooh, there's the clutch rebuild. The mountain giant falls. And the fortress is safe for now. But in comes the fire drake broods. And now there's going to be a lot of pain being dealt into the archers, it seems. And they do very good damage, although they're dying fairly quickly. They live through it. And the archers do not. Definitely money well spent, I would say. Now another horde of goblins starts attacking the stables of Turgon here. Even the builder's getting a little bit of a whack in. Level 2, very nice. Now they'll start regenerating. Gondor Knights trying desperately to save their stables. They do unfortunately fail for them though. And the fire drakes are just having a field day with these. Ugh, it's brutal. I think the fire drakes are dead though. They are indeed. A lucky break for Turgon, but there is more giants queued up on the way. There is also spiderlings just chilling out here. Goblins and spider riders being poured into the tunnels from DrParke. And this is just a how long can Turgon last game, it looks like. Because holy crap. The unrelenting armies of goblins coming in from the east in the southwest, southeast in the west, rather. My directions are completely off today. But yeah, I think this game is pretty solidly. I don't know what word I was going for there. Solidly in DrParke's hands, and has been for pretty much the whole game. So I do apologize. It is a bit too one-sided. I'm gonna put this one out anyway, because it's still interesting to see how well goblins can deal with Men of the West. I think might help out a few players here and there, you know. And I'm not saying Turgon played bad or anything. He didn't. I think he's doing pretty well. It's just the start. The Spiderling start is very strong, especially against Men of the West, who really relies on their Condor Soldier spam. And the map is definitely not favoring the Men of the West either. That big spread map, definitely bad for him. And the Worm and the Giants combined might to fort falls. Now the rest of the Free Peoples fall with it. The Worm doesn't do friendly fire? I thought it did. Intriguing. I didn't know that. That's good to know. But yeah, this game is definitely over. It's just got a couple buildings left there. And this game should be done. Looks like Turgon's going to fight with his Gunner Knights to the bitter end. Commendable. Taking out all the Spider Riders he can. The scum. In comes a horde of goblins. He's gonna get everything. Every last one of them. Maybe not, as there are a few, but soon enough, Turgon will be out of troops. I don't know if he's building anymore. Nope. So when those Gunner Knights fall, I'd imagine he'll probably be done. But they have lived a while. There's 3 battalions of Gunner Knights in there. I think. Maybe 2. Is it 2 or 3? It's 3, isn't it? Three banners. And they're doing fairly well. If you have 3 battalions at least of Cav, they tend to be able to crush through these clumps of goblins pretty nicely. But if you have 1, they'll just get stuck in there and they will die. So you gotta be very careful of that. Also, he's trying not to go through the middle of them as well. He's hitting on the outskirts of the clumps, which is really how you want to do it. Go kind of like that, like he's doing, not just go through them, because you'll get stuck, you'll lose your momentum, and then you'll die. And that's the way to use Cav, definitely. A lot of them dropped right there, though. He's still alive. Looks like Turgon's not giving up yet, so there's another another building. That should be it. There it goes. Turgon's been defeated, and DrParke is victorious. Cool. But yeah, like I said, very one-sided match. Very much favoring goblins. But interesting nonetheless, I'd say. So there you go. Well played to DrParke for his victory. And definitely looked like a struggle for Turgon. The Men of the West plight is real. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that, and I will see you guys in the next cast of the Rise of Witch King patch 2.2 version 6. See you all next time.